being's enlightenment? And why is the human being being given so much choice to be selfish and not be useful, like everything else is in the universe?
See, even the earthworm is not thinking of being useful. Earthworm is also greedy for his survival. He wants to eat as much as he can, he wants to reproduce as much as he can. With what little he knows, he is very selfish. Yes? But his selfishness, we are taking advantage of it in some way to our selfishness. So all creatures, they are structured in such a way, they are not thinking of serving anybody. Don't think the tree outside is thinking of giving flowers to you, it's just trying to reproduce. Yes? It is trying to attract the bees and the birds and reproduce. It is not trying to give flowers to you to do puja in your puja room or wear it in your hair or smell it and feel wonderful about it. It is not at all concerned about you. It is striving for its survival and reproduction, isn't it? Isn't it so? You are giving it all kinds of meanings in your head. But all life, every creature, a plant, animal, insect, worm, is only striving for its survival. But because the creation is such that one striving for survival eats up another one and makes another one survive out of that, the whole process is a chain and it happens. You know the food chain and all that stuff. Why human life needs so much attention is because we are human beings. Earthworms may be having a meeting right now talking about their enlightenment, okay? But their methods won't work for you. Because we are human society, we are sitting here and talking about human enlightenment. So it's not just that we are paying so much attention to our lives, they are also paying enormous attention to their lives. They are not ignoring their lives. But what is the distinction is, animal life is still compulsive. In yoga, we look at life as happening in three different dimensions. This is called Mruga, Manushya and Deva. That means animal nature, human nature and divine nature. Animal nature is well established. Divine nature is very well established. What you call as human is not established. This moment you can be godlike, next moment you can be like a brute. You are swinging between the two. Sometimes you are near to this, sometimes you are near to that, isn't it so? Look at yourself and see in 24 hours' time how many swings you make. This moment you're wonderful, next moment you're nasty, next moment you're beautiful, next moment you're ugly. Isn't this happening to you? Yes? So you're constantly swinging. There is no such thing that you can point out and say, this is human nature. Humanity is a flux. They can become anything they want. No other animal has this freedom. So this life, which was in that compartmentalized animal nature, has now evolved into a status where it is no more restricted, it can become anything it wants. This is a freedom, but this is what human beings are suffering right now. What people are suffering is not their bondage, what people are suffering is their freedom. That's why it's so tragic. If you're suffering your bondage, that is fine, but you're suffering your freedom. See, if your life was fixed up like animal nature, you wouldn't be suffering so much, isn't it? For example, let's say a tiger is born. He is not sitting there and planning and calculating how to become a good tiger. Just find enough food, he will become a good tiger. Yes? Gobble up as much food as you can, he will become a good tiger. He has no such fears and insecurities, will I become a tiger, will I end up as a house cat? These kind of problems don't exist for him. You are born as a human being. To become a good human being, how many things you have to do? And still you don't know. After all this, you still don't know where you belong, isn't it so? Compared to another human being, you can say, okay, I am better than him. But by yourself, you do not know where you belong. Because what you call as human being is not established. You are left free by nature. This is a tremendous possibility. Nature left you free like this, trusting your intelligence, that naturally you will seek higher, not the lower. Because there is something within you which is always trying to seek the highest that you know, isn't it? If you know money, you want to be the richest man in the world. If you know power, you want to be the most powerful man in the world. If you are an arty person, you want to be the most artistic person in the world. Whatever you know as life, it is very natural for you to seek the highest in that, isn't it? So whatever you expose yourself to, you want to go there. So this is a natural urge. So this urge has been put into you and you've been left free to become whatever you want with the trust that you will anyway go for the highest. But right now, human beings are going about as if they want to disprove that. So, the talk about human enlightenment has risen only because of this unstructuring of life for you. If it was very structured, as it is for every other creature, we wouldn't be talking to you about enlightenment, we would be talking to you only about survival. And survival and survival. But now that your life has been slightly unstructured, you can make yourself into anything that you wish. This moment, if you are willing, you can make yourself very joyful and pleasant. This moment, if you want, you can make yourself very unpleasant and something else, isn't it so? So the choice is always there every moment. Most of the time, you are not exercising this choice because you are existing in a compulsive way as a reaction to many things around you. Now the whole effort, what we call a spiritual process or path, is to transform this compulsive being into your conscious being, to make every aspect of life, from A to Z, from the process of life, from the process of being born, from the process of living and death and choosing the very womb that you're born in, into your conscious process. Everything, life and death, into your conscious process. That is what spiritual path means. What? No. No, bad things don't happen to anybody. Things happen. Different kinds of things happen to people. When you don't like it, you think it's bad. See, suppose today is your wedding, you have to take a procession on the street, but a huge rain happens today, thunderstorm. It's a bad thing. Your wedding is all drenched. But somebody else has been praying for this rain. Somebody else feels so glad it's raining. So what is bad and good is just what you like and dislike, isn't it? Yes? So, let us not think of life in terms of good and bad, because you are all people who believe in God, isn't it? You believe in God, and when you believe that everything is created by Him, why are you going about judging what is good and bad? Maybe it's all needed for you. Otherwise, your belief is all a fake belief, isn't it? If you believe in God, everything that He is doing must be perfect, isn't it so? Yes or no? Or if His judgment is not good, we must fire Him. Isn't it so? If He doesn't know what He is doing, we must relieve Him of His job. If He knows what He is doing, we should not complain. Is that so? Somewhere we have gotten ourselves into a situation that there is no way out. We have made investments in our deception so deep that there is really no way out. Please see, right now, there is no way out of this. Now, if God knows what He is doing, whatever He does to you, you must be happier and happier, isn't it? Today if He tells you enough of life, come back, you must be very happy because after all you're going to your Creator. But that is not the reality with you, isn't it? Yes? If your doctor tells you, you have only 2 days to live, you will become very miserable. You won't see, this is God's intention, how wonderful I'm going back to Him. Will you go joyfully? No. Somewhere you are all mixed up in deceptions. The first and foremost thing that you owe to yourself is, you must at least be straight with yourself, 100%. Maybe you cannot afford to be straight with anybody in the world, but at least with yourself you must be 100% straight. You owe it to yourself, isn't it? Isn't it so? Now you said purva jalma, whatever, past life, karmas and vasanas and whatever. From where did you assume that there is another life? Somebody told you, isn't it? Why do you believe what somebody tells you? How do you know this man knows? You do not know, isn't it? Now if I talk about past lives, it may be a reality for me. It may be 100% truth for me. But as far as you are concerned, it is just a fairy tale, isn't it so? Yes or no? If I tell you a fairy tale, you have only two options, either to believe me or disbelieve me. If you believe me, it'll not get you anywhere. If you disbelieve me, it'll still not get you anywhere. Only thing is, if you believe me, you have an interesting story to tell someone. If you disbelieve, your life is barren. That's all the difference between believers and disbelievers. Disbelievers' life is little barren because they have no fairy tales. Believers have wonderful stories to tell. Isn't it so? You don't like it, I know, but is it so or no? Now, there are some people, see, believing something, why has it arisen within you? Let's look at this. Believing things which are not yet a reality in your life means somewhere you're lying to yourself, isn't it? Does it mean to say I must disbelieve? Disbelieving is also lying to yourself. Somebody believes in this, somebody disbelieves in this, both of them are believing something, isn't it so? Yes? One person believes it is true, another person believes it is false. Both of them are believing something that they do not know. Once it happened like this. Gautama, the Buddha, you heard of Gautama? Yes. Gautama, one day, early morning, was sitting in a large congregation of his disciples. One man came, early morning. Sun is yet to rise, it is still dark. This man came, stood in the shadows out there. This man is a great devotee of Rama, he is a Ram Bhakta. All his life, he did only Ram, 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 Ram. Nothing else but Ram. His clothes are all printed Ram, Ram, you know, people. He did only Ram, nothing else but Ram. Age is passing away. Little doubt has come. Suppose there is no God, my whole life will go waste. He knows there is God because he just did not go to the temple, he built many temples. But suppose there is no God, the whole life will go waste saying Ram, Ram, Ram. How many of you believe in God? How many of you believe no God? One, two, only two, three. I thought there would be at least 100 hands. Now, this Ram Bhakta definitely knows there is God, but he just has a little doubt. Suppose there is no God, my whole life will go waste. You know these four people who don't believe in God? For them also the sun rises in the morning, from them also flowers bloom, for them also butterflies are beautiful, for them also everything happens. They seem to be even having a better time than me. So suppose there is no God, my whole life will go waste just saying Ram, 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 Ram. Now there is an enlightened being here, he wants to confirm. But being a great bhakta, how to ask this question? So early morning he has come, when it is still dark, he came and stood there in the corner and asked this inevitable question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and gave a clear, emphatic no. The disciples, oof, big relief. In their minds, this struggle has been going on, is there God or no God, God, no God. All the time, whenever they ask such questions, Gautama becomes silent, never answers. For the first time, he gave a clear no, no God. The message spread. The enlightened one has declared no God. Joy spread. Because if there is no God, nobody is snooping down on you and keeping accounts of what you're doing and what you're not doing to burn you in hell or whatever. You are just completely your own man. You can do whatever you want with your life, isn't it? So joy spread. Message spread everywhere, celebrations happened. No God, enlightened one has declared no God, everybody happy. Evening, another man came. This man is a Charvaka. He also came and stood there. Sun has set. Once again it's in shadows. The man came and stood there. He is a Charvaka. You know who is a Charvaka? Charvakas were out and out materialists. They don't believe in anything other than what they see. Those days there used to be professional Charvakas. As there are missionaries of God who are going about spreading the belief in God, there are missionaries of no God going about spreading that there is no God, no God, no God. He is an expert Charvaka. Whatever kind of devotee you are, if you talk to him for 10 minutes, he will prove to you there is no God. He has proved to thousands of people no God. Age is passing away, just a little doubt has come. Suppose there is God. When I go there, will he leave me alone? And these believers also say he has all kinds of torture equipment in his hell and all that stuff. So just a little doubt. He knows there is no God, but little doubt. So he came to confirm. Again he asked the same question, is there God? Gautama looked at the man and said, yes. Again disciples went into turmoil. Morning he said no, they were all happy. Evening he says there is God. What is the game anyway? See, whatever you believe, it is your belief. It's got nothing to do with the reality. You believe there is God, it's your nonsense. You believe there is no God, it is still your nonsense, isn't it? The reality is you really don't know. If you see, I do not know, if you become a big I do not know, then the longing to know will burn within you. When the longing comes, seeking will happen. When the seeking happens, knowing will anyway come. Because what you are sitting is not sitting on top of Himalayas, it is right here. What is within you cannot be denied to you by anybody else except yourself, isn't it so? Yes? And you will deny it to yourself simply because you believe something. You believe there is God, you believe there is no God. You are still in the same boat, but you think you're opposite parties. Both of you are believing something that you do not know. If you simply say, I do not know, the very nature of your intelligence is such that you cannot live with I do not know forever. You have to find it. Once the longing arises to find it, to know what is within you, to experience what is within you, how long should it take? How long should it take? 12 years of yoga? How long should it take? If you are willing, it's just one moment, isn't it so? Yes? But your willingness is not there because you've invested in your belief systems. You believe in so many things that you do not know. So let's not talk about past lives and future lives. Let's talk about this one. Because you know only this one, rest is all fairy tale, isn't it? From the moment you were born to this moment, what kind of parents you had, what kind of family you had, what kind of education, what kind of friends, all the things that you did, all the things that you did not do, does it decide who you are right now? Does it decide who you are right now? Yes. The very way you think, the very way you feel, the very way you understand everything is the way your past activity has been, isn't it so? Is that so? Is that so? Yes. So, it is this activity that we are referring to as karma. From the day you were born till now, what all you did, that is your karma. Accordingly, your mind, accordingly you think, accordingly you feel, accordingly you experience your life, isn't it? Does karma go beyond these limitations? Yes, definitely yes, no question about it. But you should not believe it. I'm saying yes. Don't believe the nonsense that I say. I want you to just look into yourself and see what is true with you, what is not true with you. Because if you want to make a journey, if you're serious about making a journey in your life, you must start only from the seat in which you're sitting. Whether your destination is next street or the moon, you can start your journey only from the seat in which you're sitting right now. Is it so? Is it so? If you try to start your journey somewhere else where you are not, then your whole life will be wasted in hallucination. Your whole life will be wasted in imaginations. If you are really sincere and serious about making a journey, first thing is to see, what I know, what I do not know, I do not know. Now, with my longing to know, I can see what is the next step and the next step and the next step. This is the only way you will go somewhere, otherwise you'll just hallucinate.